5 abortions, lost the uterus. Trade his body for tens of millions of net worth for him, but not in exchange for a name. He said you shouldn't have been there. Then he said you deserve to be there. My name is Song Nguyen. The woman who used to make the most money in the nightclub. Probably everyone who goes to nightclubs to make a living. All with injuries. I am no exception. I was born in a very remote village. Depend on grandma. I have a vague impression of my parents. All I know is that they died when I was very young. I stumbled through high school, but then grandma was diagnosed with cancer. 200,000 surgeries for me when I was young, like an astronomical number. To pay for grandma's surgery, I dropped out of school. I washed dishes, received waste, but this meager income is still a drop in the bucket. Then by chance, I was introduced to the night show by a friend. At that time I naively thought that this was salvation in a desperate situation. I don't know. This is just the beginning of another abyss. At first I held the glass awkwardly, under the red circle of the guest. Pour the wine glass by glass. When the guest's hand slides over his waist, I pinched my fingernails into the palm of my hand. Later, I learned to maneuver between all kinds of men. Touches and flirting that cross the line, gradually numb, but these humiliations and unbearable. It can be replaced with grandma's medicine, and the old house that no longer leaks after renovation. It's like an invisible shackle. Trapped me in this quagmire. I thought my life, maybe it should be spent in this drunken life and death. Until he appeared. Like a lion thrown into stagnant water. Disturbed all the peace. Meeting Chen Yi was a normal night. Smoke in the box, loud singing. He sat alone in the corner looking down at his phone, and somehow I was attracted to that feeling of alienation. I sat next to him with a wine glass. Habitually put his hand on his shoulder. Ask what's wrong. Unhappy he looked up. Look into my eyes. Without the playfulness and scrutiny of other guests, he whispered nothing. At work. I'll hold the glass, then I'll have a drink with you. He gently blocked my wine glass. Push a bottle of mineral water in front of me. Say girls drink less alcohol. It's not good for you. That moment, I was hit by something. After all these years of struggling in this place, I'm used to listening to sweet words and coercion and inducement. This is the first time anyone has told me to drink less. A long-lost warm current, caught off guard into the frozen lake of my heart. That's how we met. Later he would often come to support me. Just sit there quietly every time. Order the most expensive wine. But only let me chat with him. Sometimes the air conditioner is too cold. He would slip his blazer over my bare shoulders. I fell in love with the faint tobacco smell on him. His tenderness, thoughtfulness, and respect, like a ray of sunshine shining into my gray world. Changes in his relationship. It was that night. I walked out of the bar after work. At a glance I saw the familiar black sedan. I opened the door and got in. Smelled stronger than usual smoke. I asked if I was in a bad mood. He didn't answer. Just start the car silently. I thought he would be like the other guests. Take me to a hotel. I'm even ready. But the car passes through the sleeping city, to the open sea. We sat side by side on the cool sand, listening to the tide lapping against the shore. I asked him if he was encountering any difficulties, and he looked up at me, eyes full of red blood. The dripping voice said, "Recently the company has encountered some problems in its development." I saw his eyes for the first time. God is full of confusion and helplessness. At that moment I suddenly felt sorry for him. I rested my head lightly on his shoulder. Tell him you still have me. Warm. His deep voice mixed with the sea breeze came into my ears. You shouldn't have been there. Can you help me? I'm so tired. It's just a simple sentence. I used it as the voice of redemption. I hardly hesitated. He quit his night job, moved into the apartment he arranged for me. I took off my dazzling red robe. During the day I helped him organize company information, put on a comfortable cotton t-shirt and apron at night. Clumsy research recipe, waiting happily for him to come back from get off work. During that time, he is also nice to me. Will remember the snacks I casually mentioned. Will buy it quietly. I have a long collection of necklaces in my shopping cart. He would lie in bed and tell me, in the future you will take me to a city with flowers and seas. Then have a cute baby. Every time I smile and hug him tighter. At that time I naively thought it was him who pulled me out of the quagmire. Let me live in the light again. But I forgot that it might pull you out of the quagmire, just to see how much you're worth after washing. Change is silent. 6 months later, he started taking me to some of his business parties. At first I was happy. I thought he was willing to let me, a sign of being truly integrated into his life. He personally selected the appropriate and elegant dress for me. I also try my best to play a qualified female companion. pour him wine and laugh, deal with his business partners or inquiries, or a look of admiration. Until that time, he met the boss they had always wanted to work with. They all called him Mr. Wang. You can see the importance he attaches to this project. Mr. Wang is slightly fat, shrewd and powerful eyes. Period. His eyes fell on me many times without hesitation. Hello, Mr. Chen. Angry Mr. Wang is holding a wine glass, meaning. Chenny smiled and reached out to embrace my waist. Gently pushed me towards Mr. Wang. Thank you, Mr. Wang, for your appreciation. Nguyen accompanies Mr. Wang to have a drink. My heart sank slightly, but still raised his glass. The wine that night seemed particularly intoxicating. Before I lost consciousness. Last scene. It was Chen Yi's blurry face. Clink glasses with him and Mr. Wang tacitly. Wake up again. I found myself lying in a strange bed. It was Mr. Wang who was sleeping beside him. For a moment humiliation and despair gripped me. On the bedside table, there is a signed contract. The words cooperation agreement on the cover are like red-hot soldering iron, burning my eyes. It turns out that all the tenderness and thoughtfulness, all respect and care, is an orchestrated performance. He has already calculated my value. He fished me out of that clearly priced nightclub, just to be in a higher-end market, sell for a better price. Then I don't remember how I got back to the apartment. I just remember seeing him sitting on the sofa when I opened the door. I asked him with red eyes why he did this to me. What do you take me for? Is it a gift that can be given casually? He stood up. Hold me in your arms. The voice is a little choked. Sorry, Nguyen. I failed to protect you. It won't happen again. After all this time, we will get married. Then he took it out of his pocket, pulled out a beautiful velvet box, opened the box. Inside is a huge diamond ring. Then he put the ring on my ring finger. I looked at the bright ring on my finger. He looked up at Chen Yi again. Those eyes of love and assurance. In the end, the last line of defense in my heart collapsed. Tears welled up again, but this time, no longer pure anger and despair. It's a mixture of grievance and rekindled love. I choked up and asked him if what you said was true. He hugged me tightly, chin on top of my head. Of course, I swear. I buried my face in his chest and said yes. I believe you like convincing yourself. It's like the last time you bet everything. The price of forgiveness this time is. I blindfolded myself. You will be able to stab yourself with a knife again. Put it back in his hand. The cold diamond ring, not the starting point of happiness, but the beginning of a complete fall into the abyss. Later days, we tacitly agreed that no one ever brought it up again. Maybe out of guilt, or maybe you see my value. He treats me better. He rented me a bigger apartment, buy me more expensive luxuries. I naively thought it was a sign that he loved me. He still takes me to all kinds of parties. After so many years of night practice, comes in handy at the moment. I know when to make a toast. When should I act like a spoiled child? What kind of eyes can best control a man? I drink cup after cup, drink the wine handed by the client for him. In the vertigo of hangovers and morning headaches, watch him sign one after another. A lucrative contract. I thought I had built the empire for him. I can make him ignore the stains I have, to prove my love for him. But don't know, he is just a pawn on his way to success. Sometimes lying in bed, look at him sleeping. I also secretly fantasize. Wait for the wedding day. I want to wear the most beautiful wedding dress, to become the happiest bride in the world. And then the unexpected happens. When I first got pregnant, I happily took the B ultrasound and told him, we're having a baby. He hugged me and said that his career was on the rise now. Not suitable for children. Look into his eyes. Red blood. I relented. He accompanied me to the hospital for surgery. After the surgery, he hired a nanny to take care of me. Bought me a lot of expensive supplements, but only to avoid my empty eyes. The next 2 years, it's like being caught in a cycle. Maybe it's physical, maybe it's a trick of fate. I got pregnant one after another. Chen Yi's reasons also rose from his career. It becomes regenerative when we stabilize, and then later on, he doesn't even explain much anymore. Just frowned and said now is not the time. Every time I tell myself, this is the last time, next time the baby will be born. But every time, facing his gentle and strong attitude, all my persistence fell apart. I became more and more dependent on him, more and more afraid of losing him. I started to pay more for him, to prove their worth, prove that I deserve a name. I worked harder on his wine game, to help him win a big client. I drank until my stomach bled. He said excitedly in my ear, baby, you are really my lucky star. Contract signed. Until the 5th pregnancy came silently, but it became the final judgment. This time I didn't tell him right away. I went to the best maternity hospital alone. Hang out the expert number. The old doctor looked at my examination report. The frown is getting tighter and tighter. Finally he took off his glasses. They looked at me pitifully and pitifully. Say your uterine wall has become as thin as a sheet of paper. If you miscarry again, maybe the uterus won't hold. I went back to the apartment, put the doctor's diagnosis in front of him, trying to stay calm. Chenny, this is the 5th time. The doctor said I can't have another abortion. Let's get married. I want to give birth to this child. Maybe I was in a hurry. Maybe I can't find the right excuse this time. He suddenly got angry with him, said marriage in a cold tone. Song Muan, how can you still have such an unrealistic idea? Why not? We've been together for 5 years. I gave everything for you. I screamed out loud, and he laughed. That laughter is like poison ice. What have you done for me? Isn't that what you used to do? And he comes up to me. There was a disgust and contempt in my eyes that I had never seen before. I saw that you were beautiful and took you out. I don't think you should spoil yourself in that place, but look at yourself now. It's just a more advanced venue. He paused. Every word is like a sharp knife. Precise sympathy for the most painful part of my heart. So he says, a woman who has been played by countless people in a nightclub. What makes you think I'll marry you? You deserve to be where you are. Voice falls. The air seems to be frozen. I just stared at him blankly. Look at this, I've been in love for 5 years. Familiar enough to draw the outline of a face with closed eyes. Now he has become a stranger. In those eyes that were once full of heartache and tenderness, all that's left is naked disgust and cold mockery. The way he looked at me with no reaction seems boring. It could be guilt. In the end, it's just a cold turn. Pick up the coat on the sofa. Left the apartment without looking back. I'm still standing there, like a statue without a soul. Eyes sweat. The house we lived in together for 5 years, and there are those folds he just made on the couch. On the coffee table is his usual crystal ashtray. All this was once a testament to happiness. Now it has become very ironic. I don't know how long it has been. My legs finally couldn't support the weight of my body. Fainted in that cold room. When I wake up again, I was lying in the hospital. The doctor told me I had a miscarriage, I had hemorrhage, I had my uterus removed. This is the full price paid for my 5-year relationship. And I left the city. With Grandma, I went to the town that I have yearned for countless times. No one here knows about my past. No one knows how beautiful I used to be, how embarrassing. I often sit alone by the sea, looking at the mountains in the distance. I still think of the sunrise by the sea. Remember that you shouldn't have been there. I also remembered the sentence later that you deserve to be there.